line, coming to you live from the lab, episode 89 of Sports on the Hill podcast with Paul Smith, a.k.a. Paul the Boxing Guy, a.k.a. the owner and of the new page, Pugilist_HQ on Instagram that has all the highlight videos and latest boxing news and insights. Paul, how you doing today, good sir?
Harold, Robbie, I'm doing great.
Glad to hear it. So this past weekend, as we mentioned before, we had two classic bouts in the super middleweight division with the Super Series and in the middleweight division. So let's break down the Super Series first and the outcome of that fight. Break down these two fighters in that bout.
Oh, man, we had Chris Eubank Jr. taking on George Groves, the match of all Englishmen. I've been talking about Chris Eubank Jr. for quite a while now, and he always stood out to me as a fighter with endless potential. But a concern of mine has always been his father, who was the world champion, Chris Eubank. He tended to have a noticeable major role in his son's career. And, I understand a lot of fathers do that, but it was concerning when you would see that he really wasn't working with a full-time trainer, and especially during the fight in the corner. And I think that bit him this past weekend against George Groves, because Eubank lost the decision. It was only his second loss in his career, but he's also now in the World Boxing Super Series. And, as I was watching that fight, it was evident early that once his plan A didn't work, he didn't have a plan B. And Nigel Benn, another former British champion who had an epic, series with Chris Eubank Sr.'s father, he said the same thing that I was thinking a lot of others thought. Chris Eubank came in with an amateur's game plan, and it didn't work. So what had happened was Chris Eubank Jr. decided to just stand, right in the middle of the ring with Groves. But the problem with Eubank Jr. is he needs to get inside. A guy like George Groves is a skilled, intelligent boxer. And it was obvious early on that Groves' game plan was, I'm not going to let you get inside where you can damage me with your uppercut, because his uppercut is a signature punch. And Eubank was the aggressor of that fight, but something that I like to tell a lot of people who, for one, people who thought that Canelo lost to Triple G, or thought that Manny Pacquiao lost to Horn. It's not always about who's the aggressor. It's about who's landing the meaningful shots, who's controlling the fight, who's dictating the fight. And that's what George Groves did. Every time Eubank decided to try to step in, Groves would just step back and counterpunch him or tie him up on the inside so he couldn't get his punches off. Eubank did land the harder punches when they landed, but they were few and far between. And the 12th round was epic, though. Eubank came out knowing he needed an uppercut. He was cut early in the second round, second or third round. And he had a real bad cut. And they did a pretty good job managing it, but it's just he simply did not have a strategy. After, it was obvious that Groves was not going to let him get inside. George Groves injured his shoulder in the 12th round, which may possibly make them delay the June 2nd Super Series final, because the other semifinals coming up this week. This has got another Englishman named Callum Smith versus a German. I can't pronounce his name, so I'm not going to try. But, if I was Chris Eubank, and I'm not going to mind you, I'm not a pro, okay? I just know how to box, and I train, and I still train. And I can teach others, fairly somewhat basic maneuvers, which makes Chris Eubank's issue a little more concerning, that even though I'm not a pro, I know basic maneuvers that all he needed to do is a couple basic maneuvers. First thing, I would have told him to start using feints, foot feints. A lot of people think a feint is all in your shoulders and in your arms. No, a lot of times you foot fake, you'll step. And if you step a certain way, seeing as though George Groves is waiting for Eubank to step in so he can move back or move laterally and counterpunch him or tie him up. If Eubank would have done a foot fake, see how he reacted, and also try to establish some kind of a jab, he could have easily froze George Groves. And typically when you freeze someone, they're wide open for an overhand. Right here, they're both orthodox. Or he could have lunged in there one of those uppercuts, but he didn't do that. And it's not because he can't. I think it's just simply because that strategy was not implemented in training, and his father was not saying much to him in the corner. he really could have won that fight. It was a blowout on the card, but it wasn't actually a blowout in the action.
True that. I expected it definitely to be not to go 12 rounds. The way the video that you sent me for me to edit, the way they was dropping bombs, I had no idea it would go 12. But Robbie wants to chime in real quick. What you got to add to the convo about this fight, Robbie? I know you're not a big fight fan.
Yeah, it's interesting hearing decisions, and it's one of the things. It's hard as a UFC fan where it's like, for me, it's much more clean cut sometimes, and it's difficult for me sometimes as understanding some of the boxing, how different people score different ways, and I guess that's the part that's always frustrated me in matches that go the whole way and aren't by decision. As an outsider, it gets confusing at times, I guess. And but I do appreciate how you break it down and give me what your honest opinion is on which way it should go. But I guess it's hard when you watch UFC and you come to boxing from there. Yeah, I gotta agree with you, Robbie. And even I love boxing, but the thing about boxing is the long-term criticism is that there's no sanctioning, there's no one organizing sanctioning body. It's like 1,000 of them. It's four recognized world championships. And the other issue is the judges all look for different things, which I don't think is appropriate. Now, one judge may like to see a defensive fighter that counterpunches. Another judge might like to see a guy who presses the issue and is the aggressor regardless of who's landing the punches. And that's why we get these strange decisions. For the Chris Eubank fight, for example, two judges had him, I think it was like 117, 112, something like that. And then a third judge had 115 and 113. So you had two judges who saw it one way, and then the third judge saw it a totally different way. And that's a major criticism in boxing. And you're right, Robbie. It can get really confusing to the point where even the experts on TV, they don't even understand sometimes what the judges are looking for. Yeah, that's interesting. But I'm going to have to jet real quick, but I really appreciate all your boxing talk, and I'm excited to go back and listen to the rest of this show tonight. But I really wanted to tell you how much I appreciate that you being able to break it down for someone like me who doesn't necessarily always understand why some of these decisions go this way. And I just wanted to thank everybody also for all the wizards and the caps talk earlier, and I'm excited for episode 90 next week, and I'll be back then. But I just want to tell you both how much I appreciate you guys, and I'm trying to convince Carol that he needs to see Black Panther, and it's one of the best movies I've seen in a long time. I'm giving it 3 shout-outs already in this podcast, which is more than any movie I think in the history of this podcast. So, but I appreciate all you guys, and I'm going to jump real quick, but thank you so much, Paul, and look forward to listening to the rest of the show. Thank you, Robbie. I appreciate you.
All right, Robbie, you ain't got to convince me to go. I said I was going. I just said I wasn't going as soon as you were going, man. Damn it. Give me a chance, man. I'm working 7 days a week here, buddy. I can get there. I'm going to try to get there as soon as I can, man.
As soon as possible is what it needs to be. As soon as humanly possible. Your next 43 hours you got. You should be doing that. You get on it.
Deal.
Have a good night, guys.
All right, Robbie, take it easy. That's a deal. All right, Paul, we're going to get into the second bout that you had us looking out for, the welterweight battle. What did you see in that one, and what was the result of that classic fight? I saw the video you put together on Pugilist HQ, but break down this fight and let us know what happened in this epic battle.
Danny Garcia, he's a polarizing figure in boxing. A lot of people don't like the style. Some people do. He's 33-1, well, 34-1 now. So that tells you that he obviously has some skills. And a lot of people give him a bad rap. They think he cherry-pick people. I don't understand how, because I've only seen him fight pretty much every major name in the division, to the point where he's even trying to get a second fight with Keith Thurman at the top of the welterweight division right now. But Brandon Rios, really, he's a talented fighter. He's old, though. I mean, he's not old in his age. Let me take that back. He's getting up there in boxing age, but his body is much older. I mean, I don't think anyone gave Brandon Rios a reasonable shot, but I will say this to Brandon Rios' credit. He performed a lot better than most people thought he would, but he still ended up on the canvas with a highlight reel knockout. Danny Garcia, he's his knockout numbers may not reflect it. I think this is only his 20th knockout, but he's been in there with some warriors, and it was just a case of Brandon Rios throwing a lazy jab. And I tell my son, I tell everybody that I teach the basics to, bring that jab home. You spend the first month or two just doing jabs when you first learn how to box, because you got to know how to throw that thing in your sleep. You got to know how to throw it on the right trajectory. You got to know how to tuck your chin, how to move your head appropriately with the jab, so you don't get stuck with a counter while you're throwing it. You got to know how to. The most important thing is you got to bring it home. Bringing it home means bring your jab back home, high, and keep the glove in front of your face. Because in boxing, anybody would eat a jab to land a power shot. It's all day. And he threw a jab at Danny Garcia, a lazy jab, and he brought it, instead of bringing it low, he brought it extremely low. He brought his hand back to his midsection. And I think that was, I understand why. Danny Garcia kind of feinted a little lazy left hook to his torso when Brandon Rios threw that jab as a way to get his glove down, and he fell for it, and Garcia just leveled him with a devastating counter right cross. And, Rios went down instantly. And the ref stopped the fight after Rios got up and kind of stumbled around a little bit, tried to play it off, like he was just bobbing and doing a little shuffle, but it didn't work. Didn't fool Kenny Bayless. I think that was the ref that fight. So Garcia scored a win, man. That's a highlight reel win, and now, a lot of things going on in that welterweight division. It's the most stacked division in all of boxing. You got Terrence Crawford, you got Errol Spence, you got Lamar Peterson, Danny Garcia. You're going to have Mikey Garcia probably at some point. You got, you got Keith Thurman, champ. You got Sean Porter. And after that fight, Sean Porter crashed the ring, and I kind of don't like this new school thing. It reminds me of WWE. He jumped in the ring, saying, "You gonna fight me? You gonna fight me? This and that." It's like, come on, man. You're not gonna get that fight with Garcia right now, because right now Garcia is the #1 contender for the WBC for Keith Thurman. So that'll be a rematch more than likely. And I can see Keith Thurman taking that fight with Garcia, seeing though he's a mandatory challenger now, as opposed to a guy like Errol Spence, who he seems to be ducking. And I don't often levy that accusation a lot, but he has a new excuse. Every time he's asked about why he's not fighting Errol Spence. And frankly, if you're the recognized world champion of the welterweight division, you have multiple titles, you should be fighting more than 3 times in 3 years. And so it's a lot of possibilities that can open up after Danny Garcia reestablished his name in the welterweight division.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of ducking going on that end. And like you say, that's one of the things that I can't stand. If you're the champion, you need to stand up and defend that title. Don't 3 fights in 3 years. That's horrible. So we had this weekend coming up. I know you mentioned some more boxing coming up. Give the fight fans the update since we've had this past weekend. I know you said the welterweight division is tough. My boy Terrence Crawford in there. I'm definitely going to be, looking out for him. You make sure you send me the links to those fights so I can check them out, after the fact. I already seen the knockout footage of Rios, and it looked like he broke his neck in that joint, man. I mean, I know the slow motion made it look worse, but damn, that was just bad.
Yeah, like one of my friends said, who's also a boxer, she said it looked like he had brain damage. And it's not making light of brain damage, but the reason she said that is because, even though I'm sure he doesn't have brain damage and go to the hospital, the way he hit the ground, his head bounced off the canvas. And when you get up, frankly, here's the thing. When you get knocked out, you had a concussion. So, when you get up and you can't wiggle, you can't get back on your toes, you're wiggling around, that's pretty much a form of brain damage. So he got rocked. But also, I forgot to mention local hometown kid, Shakur Stevenson, even though he's from Newark, he represents Newark. He fights out of Alexandria, Virginia. Trained by T.J. Williams graduate Kate Romer when he was in the Olympics, managed by Andre Ward, and he had a dominating performance in his first 8-round bout on Friday. So gotta give a shout out to Shakur Stevenson. If you're from the DC area, keep an eye out for him. He's probably gonna be a champ one day too. And as for the next couple weeks, there's not really any big fights coming up until March 3rd, which is the Wilder fight. Crawford doesn't fight again until April 24th. He fights Jeff Horn, the guy who beat Manny Pacquiao. Everyone assumes he's going to just demolish Jeff Horn. I mean, I hate to just make an assumption like that so definitively, but I mean, it's Terrence Crawford. The dude is in peak form right now. But March 3rd. third, you got Deontay Wilder, man, and Luis Ortiz, and that's, we talked about fights not expected to go 12. At first, this is a few years ago, I would have said that I think Wilder doesn't stand a chance because Ortiz is too powerful, too strong, and is not afraid. But Ortiz hasn't been good in a long time. He's only fought once in the last year. He had a fight recently. Yeah, he got the knockout, I believe, but he's lethargic now. He doesn't move a lot. And the one thing you don't want to be when you fight Wilder is you don't want to be stationary. And I really, really don't think that Ortiz is going to win this fight, man. Well, as much as I criticize Wilder's boxing technique, ultimately, like I said before, the only thing that it needs to do is work for him. And if it works for him, it obviously got him a belt, regardless of his level of competition. People can say that all day. He's a champ. So his knockout, his style, his wild style, worked for him. And so I think he's going to take that Ortiz fight. You can put it in the book right now, February 19th. I'm predicting Deontay Wilder will knock out Luis Ortiz in the third round. And after that, you got the Joshua fight on March 31st. So it's going to be an active couple months in boxing, and it's going to be a great year, I believe, for 2018.
No doubt, no doubt. The last time you predicted the round and the knockout, you predicted the round and knockout and the punch that it was going to knock the guy out. So I'm not going to doubt you. You know I'm a Wilder fan, so I'm definitely going to be checking that out. But quick question about Terrence Crawford. I meant to ask you before. With him being so good with both his hands being able to switch up from traditional to southpaw, what is it in the boxer that allows him to be able to do that? And what makes him so effective that if he sees that, going traditional isn't working, that he can switch up to southpaw and be effective while doing that?
It's not too many people that can pull that off so consistently. You had a lot of guys who would switch, between orthodox and southpaw stance. A lot of times they're power punches, like Mike Tyson. He would do it a lot. They tend to be more square. But the thing about Crawford, man, is unique. He's equally as good orthodox as he is southpaw. And sometimes you can kind of chalk it up to fighters, like a lot of times, a lot of fighters who are right-handed may stand with a southpaw stance. Like a lot of the DC fighters, for example, Sean B. Mitchell, I think William Jaffe, I may be mistaken, I think he fought southpaw. Dab Judah, I think, is a natural right-handed fighter, and Chop Corley. But, it gives you a quicker, more stiff jab and right hook, seeing as though if you're, right-handed and you stand with your right hand in front, it gives you a stiffer lead punch. But that may be Terrence Crawford's case. I'm not sure. I think he's a natural right-handed fighter, person. So maybe he just trained early in his life, like a lot of people do, the wrong way. Or I don't want to say wrong, but the opposite way. Maybe he trained as a southpaw early, and then decided to get trained as an orthodox fighter, and he's able to utilize both. But the thing that he has enough advantage on so many fighters, even somebody as good as Errol Spence, who I hope they fight someday. I don't think it will happen though. If he's having issues with overcoming his opponent's style or technique or strategy, fighting orthodox, he can just switch right hand, he can just switch southpaw and start, peppering you with powerful jabs and hooks, lead hooks to your head. And one thing that's hard if you're a right-handed fighter is it is hard to duck. It is hard to get away from a right hook of a southpaw. I mean, once they, the distance is so much quicker. You're not looking at that side very often because you're not used to picking right hooks, because most orthodox fighters don't throw right hooks. So that's something that Crawford is always going to have in his arsenal, which is going to make him, be a force to be reckoned with, the champion for many, many years.
Yeah, that's what definitely made me fall in love with Crawford. I saw a fight where he wasn't effective in the orthodox style, and like in the third round, he just switched up to southpaw, and I think he knocked the dude out like 2 rounds later. I was like, dang, if he, go at it right hand and he can't do it right handed, like, hell, you know what? I'm going to switch up and I'm going to still knock you out. I was like, that's a bad man right there.
Big time. I mean, it gives you so much more you got to worry about. And one thing about boxing is, I never fought competitively because I was too old. I still think about it sometimes, but I'm way out of shape. The thing I know from sparring so all these years and sparring a lot of southpaws especially is, if you're thinking, you're moving slow. So if you fight Crawford, and you have to always prepare for, okay, if he goes southpaw, I have to do this, so I got to watch for that. And that's your worst enemy because now you got to think. And if you got to think instead of react, then you're already behind the curve. And you got things like shuffle steps when you come in. He may approach you orthodox, and then, he may decide to do a shuffle step to his right and throw his right foot back in front, get in the southpaw stance, and just throw a devastating hook to you, and you won't never see it. So, that is a tactical advantage, man. It's even more of a tactical advantage than if you just an orthodox fighter fighting southpaw, because, like we said a minute ago, I mean, you can switch it up any time. So now I always have to worry about, I'm seeing the jab come from one way, one side the whole time, and I'm seeing a right cross come. That's the only power shot I really got to watch out for is the right cross fighting orthodox. Suddenly you switch it up, and now the jab comes from the opposite side, and I got to deal with a right hook. So, it's a lot of, man, that is a great skill to have. He's not just a guy who can fight southpaw sometimes. He's a guy that can dominate southpaw anytime.
Very true, very true. Well, I appreciate your time as usual, Paul. Appreciate the breakdown. I'm going to go ahead and end this boxing segment. Appreciate everybody that tuned in. Hope y'all tune in for more. Like I said, y'all asked